Welcome to the Vibe Provider podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin Friel, and today's episode, if he wanted to, he would. And vice versa. Her too, dude. She's not perfect. Boom, she's gone. So, when we get into the topic a little bit later, I actually kind of talked about this on my Instagram and got tons of response from it. So, anyways, it's what really made me think about bringing it up here on the podcast. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the topic today. But before we get into that, I gotta update you on all the things. So, first things first. The producers of the podcast, Bernie and Pete, my dogs, want to apologize for barking in episode 2. And also, that's my bad as well, because I was thinking that these mics couldn't pick that up. I was like, dude, these mics are so good. They're only picking up what we're talking into them. So, anyways, sorry about the barking. Hopefully it won't happen again. Currently, right now, Bern and Pete are on the back porch and they are not happy about it. So, we gotta hurry and do this episode and let those inside dogs back in. We'll do life updates first, and then I have a few other things, and then we'll get into the topic. So, it's been the holidays, the holiday season. To celebrate the holidays and trying to bring the Christmas cheer into my life. My husband Kala and I, we went and looked at Christmas lights and got hot cocoa, trying to romanticize getting in the car and just driving around and hoping we see stuff. So we actually went to this house in, I don't know if it's the Avenues or it's just if you're from Salt Lake City, it's okay, we're just going to call it the Avenues, but it's up above, kind of like the Ensign Peak area. The houses are sick. Definitely made me be like, do I need to sell everything, earn more money, and come buy a home up here? Because it is cool. They got some sick houses up there. But the house was so decorated, it was crazy. I'll have to post a picture or a video on Instagram so you can see. If you have ever been to New York City during Christmas, this house definitely gives Diker Heights in Brooklyn. If you've ever been there, I'll have to make a whole Instagram post about this so you can go check it out and see what I'm talking about. I'll post Diker Heights, and I'll also post a picture of what we saw in Salt Lake City. And even me and Kalal were like, do you think this person's from Brooklyn, from Diker Heights, and or they visited and they just had to replicate? It was so cool. It was just imagine that you're looking at a house and there's not 1 ounce of darkness. Every square inch of that front yard and the front of your house is covered in Christmas lights or a Christmas decoration that lights up. So it was pretty crazy. Super cool. I'm glad we went and looked at it. So we did that and got hot cocoa. And then I have baked cookies. We have decorated gingerbread houses with friends and with family. We've played pickleball. Christmas was yesterday. Today I'm filming on Tuesday, December 26th. So I get to tell you all the things that happened over the holidays and Christmas. Christmas Eve was Sunday, and we went over to our family's house and had a Christmas Eve dinner. There was prime rib and mashed potatoes and salad and all the things. So it was so good. Then after that, we played Secret Hitler. And that game is similar to Mafia or Werewolf, if you've ever played those games. So that was super fun. So just imagine it like Mafia. There's bad guys, good guys. Bad guys are killing good guys, and the good guys got to figure out who are the bad guys. So that's kind of like Secret Hitler. It's super fun. And then Christmas, Kala and I opened our stockings together, and then we went back over to our family's house and spent all day. Kala killed the stocking as per usual. He put a gigantic candle in there, and it's like, I love citrus flavor or like citrus smells. I just like it to smell like fresh and clean, and he got me the biggest citrus smelling candle from Target, and he was like, that candle was so expensive. And it is the biggest candle we've ever gotten because I know better than to buy that size of candle. And I'm like, yeah, like only ballers buy candles this size. So yeah, it makes sense that it was expensive. And I was just laughing because I'm like, dude, I showed him a size of candle that I typically get, and I'm like, this is like kind of pushing it. So it's funny for him to like see like how much stuff costs like that I typically buy. So that was kind of funny. But he put like my favorite snacks and drink in my stocking and a few other things. But the big ticket item was $50 gift card to Swig. Nailed it. Just what I wanted. I hinted at it, so it was cool that it was in there for sure. So Christmas Day, we go over, we give some of our family members gifts, and we chill so hard. My sister-in-law made this super good like breakfast casserole type thing. She said she saw it on Instagram, and it was like croissants like torn up with like an egg mixture with seasonings and then like cheese, and then they baked it. Oh, and ham. Ham was in there too. Baked it. We ate it. It was so good. The flavors were so good. I was like, this is my jam. It was kind of like a breakfast sandwich casserole, is like what it tasted like. And I loved it. So go searching for that on Instagram. Hopefully you find it. It was just like a croissant breakfast casserole type thing, and it was delish. So that was for breakfast, and then we hung out. We played pickleball outside in like 30 something degree weather. And actually, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be because the sun was out. So I feel like when the sun's out, kind of like warms you up. But Kala actually got me a new pickleball paddle because your girl is getting better. Kind of, not really. That was, I don't know why I said that. Sorry that I said that. I didn't mean to brag. But he did buy me a new paddle. It's a baby blue Selkirk. It's so cute. If you don't know much about pickleball, Selkirk is just a paddle brand, and it's pretty good. But I've been playing with it recently. Holy smokes, it makes me better. So I love it, and now I got the pickleball itch again. Sometimes I'm like, I want to play pickleball. Other times I'm like, I don't care. But right now I'm like, we gotta play. So having a new paddle is fun. We did that on Christmas, but it was fun playing with family on Christmas. Then we came home. We just had like a charcuterie lunch. We just had finger food type things. It was delicious. And then it was good just to like be snacky until dinner. We gifted our niece a game called Chameleon, and it was super fun. It's hard. I'm like the most terrible person about like how to describe how a game is played. So Chameleon is a game where there's 16 words and they all match a topic. So if it's like music, it's like punk, Broadway, pop, rock, just a ton of different genres. So everyone except one person knows what the word is. Everyone goes around and gives one clue. So if it's punk, one clue was given was Daft. So if you know that band, it's called Daft Punk. So that was a good clue. And then one person doesn't know what the word is, but when it's their turn, they have to try and give a clue, but not make people suspicious that they're the chameleon. And then at the end, like, so everyone goes and gives their clue. Then we figure, like, okay, like, Susie said this, and like, that doesn't really go with the word. We think you're chameleon. And then they either be like, yeah, you're right, I'm chameleon. I have no idea what it is. But the chameleon can also try and guess the topic. So either the chameleon can be like, yeah, I don't even know what the word is. Or they can be like, yeah, it's punk. And then that's actually a point for them. So it's everyone versus the chameleon. And it's just fun. It's fun trying to figure out who doesn't know what the word is. So, anyways, it was a fun group game. And then, so my sister in law is half Chinese. Her mom is from Hong Kong, and her parents were visiting for Christmas. So, we had a Chinese dinner. And what was it? Char siu. It was so good. Her mom and Rachel, my sister in law, are both fantastic cooks, and especially when they make Chinese food, it really is so good. So we had char siu and sides, and also her mom like made or cut up all these toppings and had things that you could like make your own wraps. It was they for example, they kind of look like egg rolls but with clear wraps, and you can like make it yourself. So you put like your meat, and there's these noodles and toppings, and you wrap it up and you can like dip it in sauce. So that's what we had. And then Kalad and I brought some dessert. So we had like Oreo Rice Krispies and cookies and cheesecake bites. And it was really good. And then after that, we also played Secret Hitler again, and it was getting so intense. I was a good guy, and I was like fighting for the good people. And then I feel like that always bites you in the butt, because then everyone's like, "Oh, Caitlin's being suspicious," and I'm literally fighting for the good, the common people. Anyways, so that was like kind of buggy. And but then the next game I was a bad guy, so I was like, ay, ay, ay. I just get into it, and then people kill me. So, but it's such a fun game. I hope you guys can like all give it a try, or play Mafia when you're with your family or friends. So I love playing games over with big groups of people, especially when you're with family. Okay, fine. I'll tell you what I got for Christmas. Because Cole and I don't have kids, I feel like we don't like wrap our gifts up and put it under the tree. Some years we have done that. Sometimes it's like, oh, we're going on a trip, like that's our present. And sometimes, like I will say, like the last couple of years, it will be like Kalal wants to get an indoor pickleball pass, and that's like hundreds of dollars. And so he's like, hey, don't give me anything. That's my Christmas present. So he doesn't get anything like wrapped up. And then for me, we were shopping at Costco, and I saw a Shark Flex style, which is kind of like a Dyson Airwrap. And I've always kind of wanted something like that. And so I was like, oh, that's a good price. So Kalal's like, do you want that to be your Christmas present? So I ended up buying it. Love it, by the way. So that was like my Christmas present. But then Kalal was like, well, mine was like a little bit more expensive. Do you want to spend like a little bit, like, do you want to buy yourself some things for your Christmas present? And of course I was like, yes, I do. Okay, so I got the Shark Flex style, got some scarves, I've got some sunglasses, some clothes. Actually, the shirt I'm wearing right now, I bought with that money. It's from Old Navy. It's like green. It's so cute. Um, Clothes. I got some shoes. I got some hot pink Boston Birkenstocks coming. And I think I got some Jordan 3s. They're like, I don't know if you're like a sneakerhead or anything, but they're just like, they're like Union something. Anyways, just Jordan 3s. I think they'll look super cute with jeans. And then I got this like tote bag. It's like a royal blue color. I think it'll be cute. Got that. And then I got a Polaroid printer, because I don't ever want to like lug around a Polaroid camera, because if you know me, I already have so many cameras that I'm like hauling around already, so I don't need like another camera. And Polaroid cameras are like kind of bulky, but and then when you take it on a Polaroid, it's like, okay, this is that one photo. What if it's so cute? I like want it on my like a digital copy. So it's fun. I can like just take my cameras. Let's say I go on a vacation, take pictures, come home, and then select certain pictures I want printed out on a Polaroid. And then, yeah. So I've kind of wanted a Polaroid printer for a while, and so it was fun to finally get one. So we got a Polaroid printer coming, and I'm excited. Actually, another reason I wanted a Polaroid camera or printer was because I thought it would be so fun to take pictures of my guests and then like hang it on the wall and be like, look at all these guests. So after like years and years of doing the Vibe Provider podcast, I can look back at my wall and see all the guests that have come on the podcast. So another fun reason. But yeah. Okay, so that was like holiday stuff. Also, I got my nails done last week and I got Vibe Provider colors, so it's so fun. So my nails are like giving the podcast vibes. They're so cute. So I actually posted a picture on the Vibe Provider Instagram. So if you missed it, you can go see. They're so cute. They're just the colors of my podcast with stars. We love. Okay, also some things I want to talk about from like about the podcast is I have 2 Canadian listeners. So with my software, I can see like where the listeners are. So in episode 2, I talked about how I had some listeners abroad. Like when you look at the United States, it shows you it like highlights the states that there are listeners, and then they're actually different colors. So like Utah, I have the most listeners, and so that's like a different color. And then like I had one listener in, let's say, Massachusetts. I do have a listener there, so that's fun. But so that's like a different color because there's like not as many. But it's cool, so I can look at the United States and like see where everyone's listening, and it's so fun. So my first state with the most listeners is Utah, and my second state is Washington. I'm actually from Washington, so it was fun to see. I'm like, do I know these? Well, I know one of them's my mom. So, hi mom. Thanks for listening to my podcast. And so it's cool. So, who knows if people are from high school are listening or what. So, crazy. But so with my 2 Canadian listeners, they were both from the same province. Province? Did I say that right? Gosh, people from Canada, don't hate me. Province. I think that's how you say it. Um, I can't remember which one it was, but it was on like closer to the East Coast. So it was cool. I'm like, that's awesome. I love Canada, by the way. So, we love Canada. We love Canadians. Anyways, so I like that the software shows me because it is so exciting to see where everyone is. So I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was so fun. And then other things is a funny thing I wanted to tell you was, so I have wallpaper in my kitchen and I absolutely love it. It's so cute and makes the kitchen feel a little bit more fun. But also I told myself that wallpaper sucks and I'll never do it again. And some people are like, "Oh, I love like that wall." I'm like, "Thanks so much. It's the only wall in my house that will ever have wallpaper on it." Um I literally said that last week. So then I'm on Instagram and I see this person put up this cute checker print wallpaper in her teenage daughter's room. So cute. And it made me think, like, that wallpaper is very cute. Like, should I do it again? Obviously, with my mom's help, because she was the reason that we even got the wallpaper up in the first place, in my kitchen. But then I told myself, never, never again. And then I see this, and I've seen wallpaper since, and none of it has ever spoken to me. And then I see this super cute checker print wallpaper, and I'm like, does my house need to be fun and funky, you know? So I am going through this dilemma of like, do we do something that sucks again? I don't know. But so maybe let me know, like, should we do wallpaper again, even though it sucks? And I told myself I would never, because in when I do it again, am I going to be like, why did I do this to myself? Who else does that? That's what I want to know. Oh, another thing I wanted to talk about was what I love on social media right now. So specifically TikTok. This is what I have been loving. Older grandkids spending the night at their grandparents' house. So it's this, like, I think it turned out to be like a trend because I've seen it several times and it's so cute. I literally could cry. It's so cute. So the older the older kids, the older grandkids. So these kids are like in their 20s and 30s, and they're bringing their pillows and blankets and like pizza and cookies over to their grandparents' house and surprising them. And every time the grandparents are so excited, so surprised. The grandma is crying, and the grandpa is like, this is gonna make your grandma's whole life, like whole year. And it's so cute. Like I literally could cry over it. It's so cute. And then one I saw, the grandma was like, I cannot wait to tell my friends about this tomorrow. Like how freaking cute. So I've been loving seeing that. And then another thing I love are people's Christmas hauls. I love it. But the thing that I'm like, dude, cut that out, just get to the good stuff, is when people are like their Christmas presents, literally like their Christmas, they've gotten like thousands of dollars worth of stuff, which is like cool. I do not care. And they're like, I just want to preface that, like, I know I'm so blessed and da 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 da. Like, no, dude, cut it out. We don't care. Just get to the gifts. Like, if people are really like on social media, like giving people a hard time about what they got, it's like, dude, it is what it is. Like, if you're a hater, just don't watch them, because I literally don't care if you're grateful or not. Just show me what you got. That's what I want to see. It's crazy though. Like people are getting like Dyson Airwraps, Uggs, expensive tennis shoes, like super expensive makeup, and tons of Lululemon. Like it's just wild. Like what one person will get for Christmas, or like what stuff comes in their stocking and the gifts they get. It's just wild. I was talking with a friend, and I was like, you know what's crazy? Like what teenagers ask for Christmas, or like kids too. Like it's just wild. Like I'm not hating, because like it is what it is. Like if your family like does things like that, like that's cool. Love that for you. But like, okay, so let's say like I'm a mom and I have a teenage daughter, and she's like, "Hey mom, like I want a pair of Lululemon leggings." I'm like, "Okay, $100." And then she's like, "Okay, I want this like bronzer stick." Okay, that's like $40. So then it's just like, okay, and then I want these tennis shoes that are 150, and I want a Dyson Air. I'm just saying, like it totals up. So like if you thought you were spending $200 on your teenager, like you can maybe get them three things, like if they're expensive things. And I'm like, dude, you can't just like give your kid, I mean, yeah, you can do whatever you want. So I'm just saying, like giving your kid three things for Christmas, I'm like, when other kids are like having like 20 presents to open, it's just wild. So I'm like, how are we doing this, guys? How are we affording Christmas is what I'm curious about. I don't care what you do though. I don't care if you don't get your kids, well actually I do care if you don't get your kids presents, because that's a little bit sad. But like if you're spending thousands of dollars on your kids presents, like that's cool. Love that for you. But I'm just like, how are we doing it? That's what I want to know. Um and I know for a fact like Kala will not do that. So we are going to have to figure out how we're going to do Christmas, because he's not going to spend, he's just not a spender. So we're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to do Christmas with when we have teenagers. But we're not even close to that, so I don't really need to worry about it at the moment. Okay. So, that's life updates. That's what's been going on recently. And then, but we do have some current hyperfixations at the moment, and it is sewing and knitting projects. I am like on sewing and knitting TikTok, and I keep texting my mom. So right now my mom currently was making me a balaclava, like knitting me a balaclava, and so cute. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, that's so cute. I need that. So I texted my mom. I was like, can you make me a balaclava? And she's like, yes. And then I think she does more crocheting than knitting. And I think crocheting is also easier. And so she's knitting the balaclava, and she's not a big knitter. And she's never done this project before. So she got to like this point and she's like, I think I messed up, but I don't know where. So I need someone to help me. So the balaclava is at a standstill, but your girl found the cutest checkered print knitted or crocheted beanie, and it was $69. And I was like, I cannot afford that. A $70 beanie? Ugh, I cannot. So of course I text my mom and I say, I need this checker print beanie. Can you make it for me? She's like, what do you want first? The balaclava or the checkered print beanie? And I was like, well, we're at a standstill with the balaclava, so let's just put that project to the side and let's do a checker print beanie. So Denise is making me the cutest checker print beanie. So she's going to give it a try and we'll see how it goes. But I'm very excited. So my hyperfixations are like all these sewing and knitting projects for my mom because I don't have time or patience, but she does. Well, I don't know about time, but she has patience. So I want my mom to be like my personal seamstress, and like I just have like all these personalized clothes and things. That'd be so cool. But also, she says one project at a time. So, anyways, current wish list things. Since it was just Christmas, I am like getting all these fun things in the mail. But camera gear. I talked to Boston Mike Cell recently and he was telling me about a camera, and of course it's like been on my mind. And then there's also like a new Sony vlogging camera. It's the same one that I have but like updated with all these new features, and of course I'm like, I need that, but I don't. But for some reason, if I ever save my money or sell this camera, I will definitely purchase the next Sony vlogging camera with that. But at the moment, it's just on the wish list. And then some things I wish I some things I want to do more of is reading. I've been seeing some people get like I follow bookstagrams and stuff, and people are like just saying like what they're reading or books they just gotten from Christmas, and I'm like, I want to read. So, but I feel like I have so much going on that I don't have time. Like I have pictures that I need to edit for families that I've recently done photos for, and I'm like, I can't read because I need to do that. Um or like this podcast is taking up so much more of my time than I thought it would. And so like I'm like, "Oh, I'm too busy. Like I have to film a podcast or edit a podcast, like I can't read." But so that's one thing that I'm like, "Oh, I just want to read." But I can find the time. I just haven't. So I need to sit down and figure out what days I'm doing what and like get that free time to be able to read more. And I just like want to relax, but I feel like I can't because I have too many things I have to do. But I feel like the ADHD in me is just like, you're so busy, da 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 da. Like you can't do anything except for what you have to do. But I'm like, I just need to like prioritize my time and relax. So that's something I'm going to try and work on, is prioritizing things that I have to do and finding that free time to be able to like relax and read and wind down, instead of just like always being like on high alert, like, oh, I have stuff to do, I have to get this done. So anyways, that's just the latest. So now it's time to get into our topic. And we're nexting him. Just kidding. But the topic today is kind of just like, oop, I need that paper. But the topic is, it has to do with like, yeah, nexting someone, whether it be a guy, a girl, a friend, a family member, just like someone who's just not for you at the moment. So I guess I'll do a better job of describing or like getting into the topic. But the reason I thought about this topic was I saw a TikTok. I couldn't find it to like tell you guys about it, but it has to do with just like, oh, he's not into you. Like stop spending time and energy on him and like find someone who can do, like who can be there for you, or like who will choose you back. Okay, so So what I shared on Instagram is this. I was doing senior photos for a girl, and she's a family friend. So we ended up driving to the location together, doing senior photos, and then I was going to drive her home. And while we were driving home, I had asked her, like, who are the cute guys in your life? Like, tell me anything fun and crazy that you're like looking forward to next year. Or like if you're interested in anyone. And she was like, there is someone. And I was like, oh yeah, tell me the details. She was just describing him, super cute, super nice, whatever. And she said, but, and I was like, ugh, but what? And she was like, he doesn't text me back. And I'm like, next, this guy. Because if he was like totally into you, he'd probably text you back, and he's not. So I'm like, even though he's cool and like sometimes like hits you up now and again, it's just like there are other people, friends or guys or girls or whatever, who like want to spend time with you and text you and get to know you and make plans. And so I don't see why you would wait around for someone in hopes that like maybe they'll text you or like you back. And so anyways, I was like, next this guy. Um so anyways, I shared that story on my Instagram, and well, I got some messages, like I got a lot of response, but I got a message that was like, but what if he's a bad texter? And I'm like, glad you said that, because there are people out there who are bad texters. But even if he's a bad texter, you should still know if he's into you. So for example, like let's say he or she is a bad texter, but you're in person, you should be like, not, you wouldn't even have to question, like, does he like me, she or he like me, or whatever, like friends, or like a more of like someone who you want to date. You shouldn't have to like in the beginning, you're like, does he, doesn't he, does she, doesn't she, like, but just in this example of like, okay, my friend or this person I'm into is a bad texter. You should know that when they are with you, that they say things like, I'm interested in you. I want to go on more dates. I'm not talking to anyone else. Like I want to see where this goes. So, in person, they told you exact, like you don't have to guess. Like they're interested in you. They want to go on more dates. And so in that case, I feel like, okay, they're a bad texter, but they have told you exactly how they feel. And I think that's wonderful. Like that's awesome. You don't have to guess. That's an example of like, yeah, he doesn't text you or she doesn't text you or whatever, but when you are together, they're having fun, they're interested. Like let's say if it's a friend, like a friend's a bad texter, but when you're with them, you're having fun, you're talking about life, updating each other on like what's new and things, and then you make plans again. Like that to me, I'm like, okay, you're good. They're interested, they're having fun, you guys are having fun, you're getting to know each other and things like that. So I think like that's the difference between the two, is like the girl I told you the story about, the senior in high school, and the guy that doesn't text her back next him. Because you're a senior in high school, you're meeting probably so many new people like in your classes and in like clubs or sports, where like you can find someone who wants to like give you that same energy back. So, anyways, those are my examples of like when I'm like next, or if I'm like, you know what, you got something good. They're just not good at texting, or they're not good at this, or they're not good at that. But you don't have to question if they want to like be spending time with you, or like you don't have to question them liking you because they flat out told you. And I think that's great communication. So, and then to go on about like nexting them and putting them at the bottom of the roster, because I think some people who like people chasing after them realize that they stopped. I think sometimes they can realize like they had feelings, and now they're sad that like you're not chasing them anymore. And the thing is, if they realize they have feelings for you, they can just get back in line. So, like they can have another shot, but like right now maybe you met someone in an English class or like at work or something, and you are like getting to know them and having fun. And who knows if it will work out or not, but you didn't just wait around for them and, You know what I mean? Like you went out and like tried to find someone that you can have fun with and go on dates or get to know or become friends with. And then when the person that you nexted realizes that you're not chasing them anymore, they can, if they realize they have feelings, they can just get back in line and get another shot. So, like, nothing ever has to be super serious. Like, you can just get to know other people and spend time focusing that energy towards someone else who is just as excited to spend time and get to know you. My biggest thing is just like, they're not ready yet, but someone else is going to be happy to text and hang out with you. And so I think focus on that. Like, focus on the people who want to date you, be friends with you, spend time with you. That's what I want, like, people, like, young, old, whatever, to focus on, is just like being with people who want to be with you back. I think like someone who is putting energy into something like needs to receive that energy back. And don't get me wrong, there's times in relationships where like one person has to give more because maybe the other person is going through something, and I totally get that. But I think in the beginning, I think you should be with people, friends or significant others, where like you're both putting the same kind of energy into each other. But another thing I wanted to talk about was a family member mentioned to me over Christmas. Um, she was telling me that she's like, right now, she's living by this phrase that she said, and she said, let him. And I was like, okay. And so, anyways, I looked into like how to describe it to you, and I found this on TikTok, and it said, me letting him leave because I'm no longer gonna stress over a guy that clearly doesn't want me how I want them and doesn't put in half as much effort as I do. And I was like, dang, that's deep. And I was like, dang, okay. Let him, let her. Like you can't control people. And sometimes when you let them do something and it's disappointing, but it also might help you be able to like let go. And I have actually I have this really amazing quote that I want to tell you, and it's from Mel Robbins, and she actually has a podcast, and her podcast is wonderful. But she said, it's kind of a long one, but this is what she said about let them. So I've been using this thing called the let them theory. I love this and I want you to try it out, and here is how it works. The next time you feel left out, your friends all go out to brunch together and don't invite you, let them. Or maybe that person you're dating doesn't want a commitment. Let them. Or perhaps your spouse doesn't want to do the 5K with you. Let them. Your company is laying people off. Let them. You spend so much time and energy trying to control other people and getting emotionally worked up about things that are beyond your control. You can tap into peace and true control if you let them be themselves. And here's the other thing. If you let them, people will then reveal who they truly are. And when they reveal who they truly are to you, you now know what you can choose next that's right for you. So let them. Dang. Honestly, I love that so much. Because like if your friends are like not trained to hang out with you, let them. Maybe wait for them to invite you. And if they don't end up inviting you and they slowly drift away, good. Why have those kinds of friends in your life that are not going to be there for you and put that same energy into you that you do to them? So instead of like putting that emotional energy and getting worked up about them disappointing you, yeah, you can be disappointed, but now you know I need to go find new friends. I need to find people who want to choose me back. Oh, I love it so much. I feel like it works with everyone in your life, your significant other, your friends, your boss, your coworkers, whatever. Like, let people do that. And then they show their true colors. And then it honestly probably helps you move on from things. Um, so I think I mentioned this in the episode with Kala, my husband, episode 2, that we are Sunday school teachers, and we teach the teenagers at our church, and they bring up things about like how their friends are lame and like mean, or that they give backhanded compliments or just make them feel bad. And I'm like, I so desperately wish that they could just like not be their friends. I'm like, why would you want to be friends with people like that? And I understand like teenagers can teenagers are just like trying to figure out life and like who their friends are and who they want to be and stuff. I wish they could maybe just I'm like, I try and tell them to have one good friend and like a group of just like not that great of friends, but it's hard. Teenagers are just trying to like figure it out, and I get that, but I like know what they deserve, and they just deserve good friends that will make them feel good and confident and not have to like question themselves and how they act and dress and things. Anyways, so I really when my family member brought up the let them theory type thing, I was like, oh, I can get into that. And I knew, I was like, I'm probably going to share that on the podcast. So talking about the let them theory, I also wanted to jump over to another topic, and that being communication. And one thing I've been really working on the last 3 years is having good communication. Um, and the reason why like I've been working on that is there was something with Kala and I where he like was just like, I think he wasn't helping me enough. But your girl didn't tell him that. So Kala, not being able to read my mind, had no idea I felt like I wasn't getting enough help from him. And I was really struggling for weeks and weeks about it. And honestly, it was really ruining like I don't know if he noticed anything was up, but it was ruining things for me, like spending time with him. And because I was just like mad at him, but I did not tell him I was mad at him. And so I one day I had lost it, and I was just telling him like, I need help, like you're doing this but you're not helping me. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like I'll help you more. And I was like, oh, it was that easy? Like I've been struggling for weeks about this, and you're willing to help me, but you just like didn't know. And then he was like, yeah, like I can't read your mind. And or I think another friend of mine, I think I was like confiding in her, and she was like, he can't read your mind, like you need to tell him. Anyway, so when I told him, and he was so cool about it and was like, yeah, I can help you more. I had literally suffered for weeks and being so upset about it, and he was totally willing to help me. I just didn't let him know. I just was like hoping he would, and he can't read my mind. So, of course, he didn't. And I was disappointed, and he was just fine. So, anyways, communication is so important. And I tell it to anyone who wants to listen, honestly. It's got brought up with friends, family, and I will preach about communication, how it's honestly made the last 2 years so fun. Like having good communication with your partner just makes life easier um, to navigate through, being able to communicate with one another, and when you need help. And so anyways, if you're struggling, maybe think how you're communicating. I'm sure there's tons of things that go into relationships, but communication is a key. So if you're struggling, see how, and that's with friends and parents and family members and work, and your significant other. So if you're struggling in different areas, it could look at how you're communicating, or if you're communicating at all. So, but I was talking about this with a friend, and because since we were talking about nexting someone, it kind of doesn't give them the chance to like be there for you. So, like, let's say you're in a relationship, friends or family or a significant other, like if you're dating someone, um, and they're not doing something that you wish they would, and then you're just like, oh, well, they're not doing this. Like, we're gonna like, I think I should break up with them. okay, like if that's how you feel, if you fell out of love or whatever, like cool, I get it. But also, like, if it's something good going and you see it going somewhere, but like there are some like key things that is missing, like talk to them. Um, and so she said, like, you need to talk to your partner and be like, hey, like, I really need this. And for example, I will use, let's say you're with someone and you just need some more words of affirmation. And if you had more words of affirmation, like you'll feel more appreciated, more loved, whatever. So I have some examples, and it's just like, so you talk to your significant other or the person you're dating or whoever, or if you're already married or whatever it may be, you can say like, hey, so and so, I just need, I think I need more words of affirmation from you. Um, and then you can give them examples of like what you need from them. And then hopefully you see them, being like, oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you took the time to make dinner. Or I appreciate that you helped the kids with homework. Or I appreciate that you took the dog for a walk. Or thank you for making the bed. Thank you for doing our grocery shopping. We were running out of food. Or thank you for planning our date tonight. I just didn't have the energy. So thank you. Or things like gratitude or I believe in you, I care about how you feel, things like that. And they could surprise you, and having that communication can take your relationship hopefully, farther and healthier. And that, and when you ask things from them, like, I hope that they feel comfortable doing the same for you. Like, oh, like you need more words of affirmation. Like, I'm going to try my best and do more of that. But I might need more quality time. And then you both like work on those things. And when you give them a chance, like they could surprise you. Um, like for the best. But also at the same time, you could bring up like what you need. Like, let's say like you need words of affirmation and they don't do any, like they heard you say it and then like nothing changes. Like that that will definitely suck. But I also think it shows you that like they aren't willing to do like what you need. And like take that how you will. Like if you want to continue spending, being in a relationship with someone or a friendship with someone who heard what you need but then like doesn't do it in the end. So um but then that could help you realize like what you need from people and from relationships, and either help you move along with a relationship or potentially end one. And take what you learned from that relationship, what you liked and didn't like, and then find someone who hopefully can do the things that you need from someone. So in all, it's just like having communication and like giving them the chance. um and then them either proving to you that like they're willing to do those things to help you feel more loved and thought of in your relationship, or you know on the opposite, like maybe they show you like, hey, you gave them the chance, you had good communication with them, and then they still don't. So that's up to you to navigate through. But just remember, you like deserve, I feel like everyone deserves some good communication and love from their significant other. So that communication, I feel like, can either help you grow together stronger, or also maybe shown you that you maybe have outgrown someone. So I feel like we have like one little chance here on earth, and I just don't want anyone to waste it on dumb people who don't care about you. So that's kind of like why I wanted to bring up this topic is you deserve someone so cool. And if you're with someone who's just like not it, but you're just like, just remember, like, don't waste your time in this relationship because you don't want to be lonely when you can be lonely for just a little bit of time and hopefully find someone that you can like grow with and who will be exactly what you need. Find those healthy, good relationships. Next some people if you need to. They can, if they realize what they lost, they can get back in line, they can get back on the roster, no worries. Let people do whatever, and it'll help you choose like if you want to spend energy being with them or not. And then have good communication. People can't read your minds. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic today. I hope you heard something that can help you navigate through a relationship or friendship or something along those lines, and that you guys had a super good holiday season, that you guys are all excited for the new year. We gotta start writing our goals down, and new year, new me, seeing what kind of things we want to accomplish in 2024. So we'll see you guys next time. See ya.